Good evening and welcome to Wise Women, Power of the Purse. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Cheryl MacArthur and I am the past chair of the Board of Directors at the YWCA Mahoning Valley and chair of this year's Wise Women Committee. We're so glad you've decided to be a part of this Ladies' Night In. Feel free to grab your glass of wine, a cup of tea, or a snack and prepare to be uplifted this evening. At this time, I'd like to offer some thank yous. First, I'd like to thank our table captains. Ladies, thank you for inviting your friends and colleagues to join us tonight. We really appreciate that. Next, I would like to thank the Wise Women Committee who worked hard to put this event on. Typically, we are at our location in Warren. However, this year, under the circumstances, we are virtual. And thank you for participating and helping us get this underway. I'd also like to thank my fellow colleagues on the YWCA Board of Directors. It's an honor to work with such a great group of women who are dedicated and committed to the mission of the YWCA. We'll start this program this evening with some feedback from you. On your screen, you'll see a poll. If it shows up, if you could please answer the question. Our first question is asking where you're joining us from. We want to find a positive in the whole COVID and being in and being virtual. It's that we can have folks from all over the country participate in our Wise Women. So that is one positive that we'll look at for tonight. Awesome. So we have 23 are joining us from Mahoning County. 6 we have joining us from Trumbull County. 3 from other places around the state. And we have 2 from out of state. So thank you and welcome. Our next question will pop up, and if you'd answer that as well. While your video and audio are off tonight, we are using the chat function. So if you have a comment, a question, or would just like to have a shout out, please do so through the chat feature. Okay, if you would do us a favor and in the chat box, give your name and also who invited you, which table captain invited you. Just like to share some information and know who's with us tonight. If this is your first Wise Women, you may be wondering why we convene for this event. Wise Women is about economic empowerment, and everything that we do at the YWCA is built on and based on our mission. The YWCA is dedicated to eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. And those are the tenets which we operate by, which we live by, and everything that we do is based on that mission. Economic empowerment shows what can happen when networks of women come together and share resources. As we saw in the poll results, we have guests from various counties and some from out of state as well, and that's a wonderful thing. Each of us has an individual influence, and that influence is magnified when we're united. We're strong alone, but we're fearless together. So tonight, we're harnessing all of our collective power for good, and we're going to hear from some amazing women speak about that. And while this event focuses on the power of the purse, it also supports the overall mission and work of the YWCA. I've been involved with the YWCA since 2009, and a friend invited me to an event, and I was hooked. I went on to become a board member. I was vice president of the board, vice chair of the board, president of the board, and that was when we were still Youngstown and Warren separate. I spent many years on the board there, went off the board, became a committee member, just working and staying involved. And at the time when merger discussions started, I got back involved with that and spent the past 2 years as chair of the board of the YWCA Mahoning Valley. So it was an honor, it has been an honor, and just the great work that we do at the YWCA. And often we ask people to tell us about their why. So one of my whys is just thinking about women and the things we go through. My grandmother passed away 90 years old in March, and she had shared with my sister and I, and all of our family, how she worked at Ohio Leather Works and GM, but when she bought her first 2 cars, my grandfather had to buy them because a woman was not allowed to get a loan to buy a car. So why? Because we have to empower women and continue empowering women. Equal Pay Day started in 1998, and we are still having Equal Pay Day. So that's another why, because we need to just make sure that we're continually empowering women and moving forward. Those are my whys. And also, I have an 8-month-old granddaughter, and I hope that when she's of age and ready to start her career work, that we won't have Equal Pay Day anymore. And we won't have to worry about the gender disparities that exist for women, and especially women of color. One of the things you'll see throughout the program, you'll hear from some of our local leaders in the Valley who are trailblazers in their respective field. And we're proud to showcase all of these leaders in our Valley. I am proud to introduce our first guest speaker, who is a dear friend of mine, the Honorable Carla J Baldwin. She's a lifelong resident of Mahoning Valley. She presently serves as the administrative and presiding judge of Youngstown Municipal Court, where she presides over misdemeanor criminal cases and traffic cases. She also is proud to serve those who have served by presiding over the Veterans Treatment Court, which is a specialized docket certified by the Supreme Court of Ohio. Judge Baldwin also provides over the Drug Court, which is also a specialized docket. Judge Baldwin made history on November 7, 2017, when she became the first African-American female elected as judge in Mahoning County. And I am pleased to present to you my dear friend, Judge Carla J Baldwin.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Cheryl, and I treasure our friendship, and I thank you for the invitation to speak to this great group this evening. I do miss hanging out at Wise Women in Warren every year, but 2020 has thrown some curves, but as always, the YWCA takes that ball, throws it back, and makes a great event anyhow. So kudos to all those involved in pulling off this program tonight. Good evening to everyone. Fall is upon us. It's getting darker earlier, so it's nice that we can all stay home, stay warm, stay safe, and still be engaged. So I'm a proud former board member of the YWCA and so happy to be a part of tonight's event. So the power of the purse. If you are like me, your purse is pretty important to you. It holds a lot of items and you don't leave home without it. But I also was thinking about what purse meant to me, P-U-R-S-E. And as women, we rock. No offense to any men who may be on the call or to all the special men in my life. But women, we just do a lot. We multitask. We cook dinner, we serve it, we clean up, we get up, we go to boardrooms, we go to board meetings, and we run the house. We do a lot. But our purse as women, I found to also be our power to utilize our resources to support empowerment. And in this day and age, when everything seems to be up in the air, and we don't know if we're coming or going, We're wearing masks, we're not shaking hands, we're not hugging. But we still have the power that's in our purse. We have the choice to spend our dollars here or there, but we also have the opportunity to wield our power with purpose. And one of the things I loved about serving on the YWCA's board, and one of the reasons I miss it so, is because I didn't know everything that the YWCA did for the Valley, because like most women, we don't talk about it. We don't pat ourselves on the back. We just do the work and we get it done. And so when you look at housing and empowering our young women through our Bright Futures program, and you look at the child care, quality child care in the city of Youngstown is a huge deal. A safe place to live in the Mahoning Valley is a huge deal. So if the women who are in the city, if the women who are on this call would take our purse, which again is our power, to utilize our resources to support empowerment. If we all would combine our collective influence and give great thought and attention to what we put our hands and minds to do, how much greater work could be accomplished not only at the YWCA, but in the city of Youngstown and in the Mahoning Valley. In 2017, I had the most amazing, unbelievably exhausting, tiring, thrilling year of my life when running for office, because I wanted to be a judge when I was 12, since I was 12. And then I was bold enough to get up on a stage in January of 2017 and let the world know that this was my dream. And while it was my dream and my heart's work to do, I couldn't get there alone. I needed all the women to get their purses together, use their influence, lean on their networks, and work together to empower me to do something that had never been done before. And that is having a Black female sit on the bench in any court in the Mahoning Valley, and definitely the first clearly for the city of Youngstown. Born and raised here, I took so much for granted. I was blessed to come from a two-parent home, and my parents liked each other, so that helped a lot. They loved each other, and my brother and I had what we believed to be a typical childhood because we didn't know anything else. Everybody in our neighborhood looked like us, who we went to school with looked like us, and so there were certain things that were going on in the world that we didn't always have a total grasp of until we got a little older, got a little wiser, hit some bumps in the road, and a reality that the world is not fair, that things aren't equal. And as we continue to age and get wiser and older, and now my brother having 4 little people who I love and hold dear to my heart, we work harder. I work harder every day to make sure that I take my purse and put my money where my mouth is. But I also put my power behind what my heart and my mind believes, which is right for this valley, which is to empower, to support, to lift up, and to make better. And yes, I'm thankful. I absolutely love my job. I love going to work every day. This is probably feels like my 4th or 5th Zoom call of the day. Each call about learning how to be better, to do better, to give better, to be more. And it's the power that's in my purse. We are amazing. We are dynamic. We live in a valley that its richness is in the diversity of the people who reside here. And so even though COVID has hit and we are sometimes overwhelmed and feel like we're going back in time and kind of isolated and distressed and stressed and overwhelmed, we can't see, we can't touch, we can't feel, we can't hug, we can't do some of the things we always did. But as the women that we are, we have to take our purse and be more intentional and more thoughtful about what we do and how we do. So because of events like this, You will hear stories of women's lives being changed and individuals' lives being changed because of the work that has been done. And it is because the power of our purse. It's where we give, it's what we support, it's who we lift up, it's who we give an opportunity to. It's an underlying awareness that we are better and stronger together. We're better when I don't talk about you, but when I can see there's an area where I need to help you. And if I can't do it, I pick up the phone, I shoot a text, I shoot an email, and get you a link to someone who can. So with everything going on, and I know Christmas is coming up and Thanksgiving, and some of us are thinking about turkeys and what are we going to do because we all can't be gathered together. Being the amazing individuals we are, we have the power, the ability, and the capacity to wield that power, to donate a meal, to clean out our closets, and make sure someone has a warm coat on their back. When we see that sale at Bath and Body Works, we can gather some extra items and drop them off at the YWCA or the rescue mission. We can give $10 here. We can give $10 there. We cannot get that coffee from Starbucks today. Or we can eat what's at home in the refrigerator. Like our mother used to always tell us, you got something to eat at home. Now we're old enough that that's the intentional choice to sacrifice for someone who can't. And that's really when we'll become better in this valley. When we celebrate our diversity, when we say, I can't do everything, but I'm committed daily to doing something, then we wield the power of our purse. We don't put our purses on floors. We don't throw them anywhere. We don't just leave them for anyone to touch or pick up or go through. And we have to have that same commitment and mindset when our purse is our power, our ability to connect, our ability to influence, our willingness to support, understanding the necessity to empower. So ladies and gentlemen, the power of our purse is not simply and solely in our dollars, because if you don't have it, you probably know somebody who does. But it is the willingness to say, I can make life better by taking that power, using it wisely, and doing unto others what I wish someone would do for me if I was in their space. So I am thankful that in 2020, I know the YWCA is in this valley. I'm blessed to have ties to it, so I know the work that it does, and I'm proud to celebrate the work that it continues to do, and happy to lend a voice whenever I can. And I'm thankful that tonight I don't have to worry about where I lay my head, or if I hit the light switch, will it come on? Or when I go to the stove, the flame will appear. I don't have to worry in the morning when I get up and go to my vehicle, will I have enough gas to get to work? Will I have something I can find, or do I rummage in my purse to get something to eat? Hopefully I won't go hungry today. So for all of those blessings and all of those opportunities, and with everything I see on the bench every day, where some people don't have answers to those questions, and it would be easy to turn a blind eye. But because I recognize the power of my purse, I love the space that I occupy, I absolutely love the city that I live in, then it is my heart, it is my life's commitment to take the power of my purse, to utilize my influence, to make sure organizations such as the YWCA and many others in the Valley have the resources to support the empowerment work that they do. Because it does not matter if you're Black, brown, white, doesn't matter what race you are. Doesn't matter what sex you are. We all have something to offer this world. And if we would recognize and appreciate and respect the power of our purse, then a purchase at a female-owned business or a donation here or there that won't seem like much to us will be a blessing to many. And again, if we can harness that power collectively, then what a world this valley would look like. It would be a beautiful world. So thank you to the YWC of Youngstown again, of the Valley, for giving me this opportunity to share this space. And again, remind us all that we cannot do it all. But if we will individually take our power of our purse and make a collective effort to respect and utilize that power in an intentional way, then we can help the YWCA complete its mission, which is to eliminate racism and empower women. Thank you all once again, and everyone, please enjoy the rest of this evening.
Hi, my name is Bria Smith. I am currently a client at the housing program. I've been here for almost a year and some months now. First, I was at the transitional program. I was there for about 4 or 5 months, and then I got transferred into Scatter Sites. Currently been in Scatter Sites for about 4 months, going on 5 months. Right now, Miss Joy, she's currently my case manager for Scatter Sites. Miss Janelle, she was my caseworker for transitional, which she is the person that helped me through basically everything that I was going through, from being homeless on the streets, staying from house to house, due to the fact that there wasn't any space available at the missions, and I was on a waiting list for transitional. She would call and check on me, make sure that I was okay. I was pregnant at the time with my baby. So she was very concerned, and genuinely she cared about me and my safety. Anything I needed, I can call and talk to her about anything. So I'm forever grateful for Miss Janelle. She got me into transitional after I left rehab. I was in rehab for about 3 months. From there, I went to the mission and got into transitional. I took the proper steps that I needed to take, far as going to the groups, following the rules, just doing what I had to do to, get to where I'm at now. I also was going through a little situation with my kids, and the Y helped me, get to my visitations to see them. They gave me a place to stay to where my kids can come spend time with me, and they got them home for me. So I'm forever grateful for that as well. From transitional, I went to Scatter Sites, which that's where I'm at now. I'm forever grateful for everything that Miss Janelle, Miss Joy, the Y, everything that they did for me. I'm blessed. I'm very, very grateful for everything. And I just want to tell you guys, thank you for everything that you guys helped me with. Right now, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to be going to school in the fall to get my GED, and then just take it from there. I really don't know right now. I don't really have any plans like far as what I want to go to school for right now. I'm still thinking on that. But for right now, I'm just going to go get my GED and just take it from there. So I just want to tell you guys thank you for everything, because if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know where I would be. So thank you so much.
I would like to say thank you to Bria Smith for sharing her story. Bria is one among hundreds of individuals touched by the YWCA every day. Good evening. I'm Dr. Krishana A. Jackson. I am chair of the YWCA Board of Directors. Before I start, I want to remind everyone to please type your name and your table captain's name in the chat box if you have not done that already. I became part of the YWCA, I don't even want to tell you how many years ago, but let's just say 30 plus years ago. When I was a little girl, I took swimming lessons at the YWCA of Youngstown, even though they don't have a pool. I remember when they had a pool. Being 6 years old, that was the first place I was brave enough to stick my face under the water. And so I always say, they started empowering me at an early age to overcome some of my fears. Later, as an adolescent, when I moved to Akron after my mother remarried, I was a member of the Y Teens of the YWCA. And this was a program that was designed in the middle schools to take young girls where we would come together and talk about self-esteem and kind of empowering women and things that we could do out in the audience. And as an adult, I'm still involved with the YWCA. I came on as a guest speaker for the Bright Futures Awards that I'm now the chair of, and I have not left the YWCA since. And so now I'm currently serving as the chair of the board. I've served as the first vice chair and on numerous committees. And so very excited to be about the YWCA. So that's about me, but let's hear a little bit about you. At this moment, we'll begin another poll. And this is a voting poll. So at this time, please tell us your voting plan. Have you voted already? Do you plan to vote by email, early, in person, or on election day? Take my poll. All right, so I don't know if I have the, give people time for the poll, but civic engagement is important to us here at the YWCA, and we hope it's important to you too. So we would like to please encourage you to vote and others around you to vote. Many women leaders before have fought for us to have this right to vote, and it must not be taken lightly. And even today in 2020, you'll see some barriers going up that are trying to make it harder for people to vote. All right, so we have some poll results now. And so 67% of you are planning on voting, 2% are not sure, and 31% of you have voted already. Well, look at that. I have to get my, I have to go run out early vote tomorrow. It's your voice. Oh, we have some more results. So the next poll, will you vote in person? Your voice, your future, your right to vote. So be sure to exercise it. YWCA's mission is eliminating racism and empowering women. Since its founding, the YWCA has been at the forefront of issues that disproportionately affect women, girls, and people of color, from voting rights to healthcare, to affordable housing. We move justice out of our doors and into the power of our hands. Excuse me. Oops, I'm sorry. We move justice out of our doors and into the power structures that determine our future. Here in the Mahoning Valley, YWCA staff know what justice looks like because every day they get up and they do the work. They are providing housing, childcare, youth programs, empowerment, racial justice programs, and more. As YWCA USA CEO Alexandra Castillo says, not every YWCA has a pool, but we help women when they feel like they are drowning. Year-round, we work to meet the needs of our community, but we don't do it alone. Our power comes from the women and girls we serve and from our bold, passionate donors and sponsors who are equally committed to the work of justice. So join the YWCA in keeping the collective commitment to our community strong by donating. There are different ways you can give and support this wonderful organization. You can mail a check to the YWCA office at 25 West Brand Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. Sorry, I have a special guest. Please note that if your check is over $100, as $100 or over, you may make it payable to the Youngstown Foundation, and the YWCA will receive a 10% match over your donation. You can also give online at the link provided in the chat box. If you would like to give right now, you can also open the camera on your smartphone and hover over the QR code given on the screen, and it will take you directly to our donation page. This wouldn't be called a Power of the Purse event if we did not have some purses available for you to buy. So, at the end of this event, we will kick off a live auction, which has over 50 items for you to bid on, including brand name purses, baskets, household items, jewelry, and gift certificate bundles. All these items have been generously donated by our board members, staff, supporters, and businesses in our community. We are partnering with Bryce Auction to host this auction, We thank them for providing this technical support to us. Please bid generously as all proceeds will benefit the YWCA programs. The auction will go live today and will run through 4 p.m. on Monday, October 26th. You will need to create an account on the website in order to place bids. You will receive a link in the chat to the auction at the close of the event. Now, let's move on to our next guest speaker. I have the honor of introducing our next speaker. Catherine Cersone Miller is a wife and mother of 2 and is the first female mayor of Mahoning County. She is a proud graduate of Struthers High School and has a bachelor's degree in psychology and art therapy from Capital University. She has just recently received the Innovation Award through the Script Conference in Los Angeles. Please welcome Mayor of Struthers, Mayor Miller.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Krishana, for the introduction. I just want to thank everybody at the YWCA for putting this on and for having me speak on this. Originally, I was just wanted to be on here just to listen to Carla and Samantha speak because I'm very big fans. I know I say that often, but I really am, just because of the advances they're making for women today. I'm taking this a little bit of a different approach, so I'm going to speak more about the mission of eliminating racism and empowering women and how that has affected me within the last year, in the last 2 years, and just my life in general. So I'm going to actually split that up and do a couple different parts, and I'll try to talk quickly. One of the things that happened here in Struthers last year during the election. Now, like Krishana said, I'm the first female mayor of the county, which you think of it today in 2020, This is the first female. That's unheard of. We didn't even know that going into the election. So I wasn't running just because we needed a woman. I was running because we needed the right person in. But to hear that it was the first woman was kind of insane to me, that it took this long for someone to get there. And I am very proud to be able to hold that title. But I did have a lot of things going, like people would say I had things that were against me going into this election. I had people telling me, and I'm going to be very honest, I'm going to be very blunt, but I had people telling me that there was no way I was going to win this election, A, because I was a woman, and B, because my husband's Black. So the eliminating racism, empowering women, to me, it really hits home for me because we had to endure so much throughout this campaign. And it was just last year, so a lot of the things are still fresh to me. We had an outstanding amount of support in our community. And I don't want to sound naive, but a lot of people knew my husband, they know my family. They didn't care, and Struthers doesn't care, I will tell you, whether someone's Black, white, gay, lesbian, we are not, I would say, a racist community. So I feel like in my eyes, that we are making a lot of progress in different areas. We had someone here who was saying, don't vote for her because her husband's Black. But the more that happened, the more the people of Struthers and the people around here were saying, well, we're definitely voting for her. That's not how we think anymore. That's not what we believe. It doesn't matter. So the more people were doing that, the more support we were gaining, because that's not how people are with us, with our community. So we were seeing this in a whole different way. So everybody's saying that I wasn't going to win because I was a woman. I wasn't going to win because my husband's Black. It was the exact opposite for us. We had more support, I think, because of that in this area. And there's different ways, and I could call these people out and I could say, this one said this and this one said that, and really try to attack those people. But I feel like as a woman, as someone in an interracial marriage, the only way to combat that is to win, is to succeed, is to do good, and prove to people that it really doesn't matter. And I feel like that's the approach that we've been taking, is that's how we have to combat the racism from our end. But I do feel like we are changing that. To speak very briefly about the women's challenges that we had. I like to surround myself with strong women. I am one who will pick up the phone and say, how do you handle this? I like getting advice from other strong women. I like to surround myself with people that have been there, that have done that can give me advice. I'm never the one that's going to say, I know it all, I know how to do it. I'm a woman, hear me roar. I need advice. I need strong women to empower me, to lift me up. And that's who I surround myself with. I have an extremely strong support system. But I do have one challenge that I've, especially recently, been running into, and I think as women, it is something that we run into a lot. If I appear too confident, a lot of times people say, well, she's cocky. She thinks she knows everything. She knows what she's doing too much. But if I am more reserved and I'm more quiet, then I appear weak and not confident. So I think a lot of times it's hard for women to teeter that line of being, they're either cocky or they're weak. You're either strong or you're not. So that's something I'm having trouble with right now, is teetering on that line and being able to just move forward and try to focus on doing good. My mom passed away in December. She was one of the biggest forces that I have in my life, or had in my life. And I do have a lot of people that I call and that I reach out to, and a lot of support from women. But I also, in Struthers, I was raised with a strong male force too. So I also, not just surrounding yourself with positive, uplifting women, but I surround myself with men who will lift me up. I was raised that way. My father always taught me, you find a way, figure it out, do whatever you can. So I think it's not just important to surround yourself with positive women, but surround yourself with those men who want to be around strong women, who want to uplift you. And that's something I get from my husband. I will say, I will brag about him forever. He's standing here timing me, telling me I'm running out of time. But I have someone who will support me and wants to see me do good and wants to see me succeed and reach my goals. So not just women, but surround yourself with men who will push you to do your best. Let me see here. So real quick, I just wanted to end by saying, I know you guys were talking about your whys, and my whys are my husband and my kids. I have 2 kids, and just dealing with racism and women, I want them to grow up in a world where they don't see color, where they don't know who's who or what color is or why. It shouldn't ever matter. We were having a discussion one time, my husband and I, when he started a new job, and we were in the car, and he said, well, I'm the only Black guy that works at my job. And my son, who was in the back seat, he was 3 at the time, he popped up and he said, wait, I'm Black? I didn't know that. So we started laughing because he's lighter skinned. But we had to have a big discussion with him. But I'm very proud of the kids, the youth of this day, because they are being raised to not see color at all. And I know that's how we are raising our kids. And I can only hope that other moms and dads are raising their kids in the same exact way. But I just want to say thank you to the YWCA for having that be your mission statement, is eliminating racism and empowering women, because today's day and age, that is so very important in so many ways. And that's something that has personally affected me and my family in so many ways. So thank you, everybody, and thank you for letting me talk. I know I went over my time limit a little bit. Thank you.
All right, hi, I'm George, Youngstown, Ohio. My wife and I have had all 3 of our children here at YWCA. Started off by our first child, our oldest, had autism, and she was going to daycare out by my wife's work on Market Street, and so was my second child, and they told us that our autistic oldest child, Liliana, could not go there any longer, but that they'd be happy to keep Diana. So we were appalled, and so we were searching, and I had told my wife, I said, I work downtown, let me see what's available. And YWCA administration and staff were very gracious and said we would take both of them, and we got them in, and they did extra special work with Liliana. She flourished, as did Diana. And now our youngest, Gabriel, he went clear with Miss Cheryl through the toddler baby program all the way up through. And then we've hit this pandemic with the COVID-19, and Youngstown City, which is our children's school system, chose to offer only online classes while our son was supposed to go into kindergarten. I didn't know what to do. I knew that was not going to cut it for a young man going into kindergarten. And I got a call from Emily, and she said, if there's anything we can do, please let me know. And I was like, yes, there is. So I sat down and talked with her, and I said, can you give him some core curriculum? Here's what he needs to work on. He's behind because of missing most of the year last year from the pandemic. And so they agreed to take him back in. So we came back in, and we're very thankful. You know, Gabriel has some issues that he's working through, and they're working with him, and just we're very thankful. Like I said, from the teachers and the administration, all up and down the whole program, they've worked extra hard to make sure that what we needed to have our kids go through, they make sure they go through them. And I think that one of the things with being downtown is that they get to go down to the museums and such and get to walk around downtown, and also we have the park, the nature, the STEM stuff that they have introduced the young men and women to. Gabriel, he's always bringing home work that he does, whether it's artwork, whether it's writing. They're doing different things, and as the year progresses and goes on, Gabriel will expand upon that as they will with him. So thus far, we've been very pleased with what is taking place. So very thankful.
Thank you, George, for your heartfelt commentary. We're very happy to serve children, especially happy when we can keep families, and in this case, siblings, together in one program. Hi, everyone. I'm Leah Merritt, President and CEO of YWCA Mahoning Valley, and we're so grateful that you've all joined us virtually here today. We've heard some amazing speakers today, including our guest speakers, board members, and clients. As you know, YWCA is a national movement that is driven by our mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. YWCA Mahoning Valley offers many programs and services for women, children, families, and individuals right here in our community. Supportive housing, early education and youth development, economic empowerment, racial and social justice, and civic engagement are our core themes. Of course, housing is our largest program, and we strive to provide affordable, supportive housing to those who are homeless and at risk of homelessness. Housing is a social determinant of health. With stable housing, individuals and families have better outcomes in health, education, and employment. At YWCA, we also believe that learning begins at birth. A parent is the child's first and best teacher, and the first 5 years of life are the most important when setting up that academic base. We partner with parents like George and Melody in our early education program to assure that children are on track developmentally and have that base for future academic success. Another important youth program is our Why Girls STEAM Ahead. Focused on middle school girls, this summer experience brings science, technology, engineering, arts, and math to the forefront in a non-threatening environment. We know that high-paying tech jobs lack women in the field. Talk about that gender pay gap. This is one way we're trying to change that. Building self-confidence and efficacy in young women encourages them to explore those fields. The areas of economic empowerment and racial justice are core to the mission. One example, our Young Women with Bright Futures provides scholarship and leadership opportunities. YWCA has been on the forefront of advocating for racial equity and inclusion since the civil rights movement. Here, locally, we host programs like Stand Against Racism and 21-Day Racial Equity Social Justice Challenge. As we mentioned, YWCA is a movement where advocacy meets the intersection of gender and race and is at the forefront of change. You know, COVID may have halted a lot of programs and services in our valley, but YWCA has continued providing essential services to the most vulnerable population right here in our valley. We've adjusted our services to keep our staff and community safe, but we continue to move forward with the people that we serve. We do what we know best, serve people. And partners and supporters like you help us do that. We're counting on you. One more person we can count on inspiring us here today is our next guest, Samantha Turner. What an amazing young woman. She's the 3rd Ward Councilwoman in the city of Youngstown and the first Black woman to be named as president of Rotary Club of Youngstown. Samantha Turner is a Youngstown native, University of Florida graduate, active community member, passionate gardener, and mother. Her and I have the gardening in common, and I didn't even realize that. Outside of her work as the 3rd Ward City Councilwoman, she's also involved in the Rotary Club of Youngstown, the Boys and Girls Club, Friends of Fellows Riverside Garden, First Night Youngstown, and Ebony Ladies Golf and Youth Foundation, as well as being the steward for the Fair Green Neighborhood Garden. Samantha lives on Youngstown North Side with her young family. And Samantha believes that success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. Please welcome Samantha Turner.
Hello, everyone. I first would like to thank the staff and the board of directors at the YWCA for selecting me among such great women. Judge Baldwin and Mayor Miller, you are both a constant inspiration for me as a woman in the community, as well as a government servant. So thank you for your service, your hard work, and dedication to empowering women and uplifting our valley. Tonight, I'm going to speak to you all about what we can do to help move the mission of eliminating racism and empowering women forward. Eliminating racism is an active practice that must begin with quality leadership. The most experienced, decorated, and beloved leaders of our community must engage in the eradication of racism boldly and unapologetically. Leaders should begin to learn how systematic inequality has impacted the development of the organizations with which they are affiliated, as well as inside the communities they are called to serve. Leaders must then invest heavily in the cultivation of a new culture of equity. In my work with the Rotary Club of Youngstown, where I am the first African-American president in our 106-year history, inside of a year of untethered emotions, I come in front of my club poised and prepared week after week after week. And I do that to show everyone that we have missed out on a lot by not engaging, with more people that look like me. And also to show what we can gain in our already robust service organization if we actively engage more people that look like me. And I think it's going good. The work I do with City Council and Rotary and in the community is so empowering. And we must know that the empowerment of women requires the same deliberation that eliminating racism does. Leadership must first recognize and appreciate the value of an empowered woman. We then have to bring society along with us, plan and execute policies and procedures that support the development of women. Top down is the only way for the efforts to gain traction and that are necessary to affect lasting quality change. I'll tell you guys a story. A couple of weeks ago, I'm in Bible study and we had a question. And it was a simple question most everyone already knew except me. And it was, who was clothed by the sun? The answer is found in Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. And this is what it says. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now, naturally, I was in awe of the scripture, but it went a step further when we went over all the words that woman stood for. So it is woman, bride, church, the body, Christ. And I want to thank the YWCA for recognizing that a woman. The YWCA is this safe haven for women in our community. It provides them with opportunities to get back on the right path if life has taken them off route. It provides shelter if needed, and listening ear for counsel, a hot meal for nourishment, and employment with no judgment passed. All of these services they provide cannot continue to flourish if we do not begin to leverage our resources and, of course, our purses. But like Sammy Jean would say, our pocketbooks, to assist them where they need it most. As women on this panel, we have been fortunate enough to be guided in our purpose. Not all women in our community have the luxury to be guided by a parent or a mentor. And this precious hidden gem in the community, the YWCA, provides the guidance and mentorship that otherwise would have never come across. So with that being said, I want all of you women tonight to open up your purses and your hearts and continue to keep the movement alive. Reach out to fellow leaders in your community and tell them how they can help eliminate racism and empower another woman. Because we wouldn't want to miss out on guiding the next woman into her purpose. Thank you so much for having me today. And thank you for all the hard work that you do here in this community.
Entering the Wings program of the YWCA in Warren has been one of the best things that has ever happened to me. Struggling with depression, domestic violence, addiction, I was at a very low point in my life. But from the moment I was introduced to my case management and housing director, I knew my life was going to change. With their support and encouragement, I have been able to gain employment, obtain a valid driver's license, and provide a clean, stable, healthy living environment for my children and I. I no longer have to worry about how we're going to survive. I have peace of mind knowing that whatever situation life may bring, I have the tools and a team of great individuals who are ready and willing to help me every step of the way. I've accomplished so much in just a short period of time. I'm super excited to see what else is in store for me and my family. To any individual who has the opportunity to become a part of this program, I say to you, embrace it, work it, and watch your life change as well.
Good evening, everybody. That was a wonderful testimonial. Hello, my name is Valda Bide, and I am the Chief Operating Officer here at the YWCA. As a grant writer, I know that our funders like to hear about the numbers served, the dollars spent, and the bottom line on our budgets. But regular people like you and I, we are moved by stories. We like to hear if people got their GEDs, or if a kid who was considered ill-mannered or hard to teach actually has a learning disability and needs intervention. We like to hear about the single mom who completed her college degree while feeding her family of 5, working 2 part-time jobs. These are the stories that motivate us. It's not easy for clients to delve into their pasts, bare their souls, or sit in front of a camera and tell their story. A story that will be broadcasted to strangers they do not even know. It's not easy. Our clients have often asked me when I do their recording, who's going to see this? Do people even care? And my response to them always is, yes, they do. I tell them it is stories such as these that motivate people to come forward and do what they need to do to support our cause. We hope that our clients' courage in telling you their stories motivates you, our guests, to make a difference today. Your donation to the YWCA has the potential to change lives. Just as we are proud of our clients who are fighting to survive, we are also immensely proud of our staff who keep them moving towards their goals. We have been weathering this unprecedented storm called COVID that has disrupted our lives. It has made us all think outside the box. To survive, to uplift, and to bring about normalcy in this extremely abnormal situation. As our board and staff continues to do the work, we hope that you will join us in our endeavor to eradicate homelessness, end racism, and provide equity for all. These are some lofty goals. We know that, but we're already one step closer to achieving it because you're all with us in this. Here's a short video of our YWCA staff and board who have been working diligently to keep things moving during these COVID times. Just a warning, this video does have loud volume, so just saying. One second.
Hello again. It never ceases to amaze me the wonderful work our staff does to create a positive change in the life of our clients, and I am so proud to work alongside of all of them. I would like to thank our Wise Women Committee chaired by Cheryl MacArthur and our YWCA development team led by Varda Vide, for pulling this unique event together this evening. Needless to say, we cannot do this amazing work without the backing and support of friends like you. I'm also especially thankful to our board for their unwavering support to our mission and our work. Well, I cannot believe that we're almost to the end of our event. We will take a moment to do a brief poll to see how our guests are planning on supporting us. So please respond and let us know how you plan to donate today. And as we wait for the results of that poll, I'd like to share that anyone donating $100 or more today will send you this wonderful YWCA mask to thank you for your gift. And there are different ways to give. You can send a check payable to the YWCA, and in partnership with the Youngstown Foundation, if your check is $100 or more, you can make that check payable to the Youngstown Foundation, and we'll receive a 10% match over the check amount. You can give online. Visit ywcamahoneyvalley.org and click the Give Today button on the Wise Women banner. And a link will be provided for you in the chat box. And don't forget about our exciting auction. I think we have the auction slide up there. And that will be going live at the end of our event. The auction is presented by Vice Auction and will be hosted on their website, viceonline.com. We're also providing that for you in the chat box. You can bid there on brand name purses, lovely gift baskets, and gift certificate bundles. And the auction will open today, starting at the end of this session, and it will go through Monday, October 26th at 4 p.m. So make sure you get in there regularly and follow your item and make sure you weren't outbid by somebody else. And to all those who've donated towards the auction, we truly appreciate your generosity. All the proceeds benefit YWCA programs. So this is the end of our wonderful event. We hope you enjoyed listening to our speakers as much as we enjoyed hosting everyone. Thank you to our amazing panelists here who have joined us as women leaders who are breaking barriers and boundaries every day. And although virtual events can never compensate for in-person, we're happy to have this platform to share our work with you and highlight our success stories amidst this pandemic. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Salute, have a glass on us. And we thank you for spending your time with us. And thank you in advance for your support. And we hope to see you all again soon in the near future. I think that we do want everyone all of our panelists at this time to turn on your cameras so we can get a group shot of everyone. Okay, tell us when you're ready, boss, or we got it.
I was asking Michaela and Jess to also start their videos so people can see they have been working hard behind the scenes. Hi, Michaela and Jess.
Howdy.
All right. Give me 1 second. And I will take one more.
Oh, we're taking them?
All right, we're good.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I see some
you.
positive comments in the chat box. So we look forward to hearing from you all about your gifts, and please enjoy the auction. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm gonna
takes care of all the things that